Hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, friends. This is Yonks, and we are live streaming today on the DAO Hack and actually all of the Triple Win Foundation live stream channels, including REtoken and Token Summit. And that's one of the things that decided here to do to kind of just lean a little bit more into the integration of REtoken, the real estate DAO, into Triple Win Foundation, because we have some other agenda besides just REtoken and the blockchain bootcamp that we are going to talk about here today. So joined with me today is Mrs. Yonks, Amy, and Double D. Welcome, everybody. So hopping right into our agenda, a little bit late on going live here today, so apologies for everyone on that. Was traveling yesterday and recouping from traveling here today, and had so much that we wanted to share with you. Went to Proppy's Crypto and Real Estate Summit in Miami last couple of days there. It was absolutely fabulous. Looking forward to strengthening the connections that I initially made there while we're working on building all the DAOs here at Triple Win Foundation. And what is Triple Win Foundation? It's win, win, win. And one of the vehicles that we are wanting to create win-win-win situations for is REtoken, the real estate DAO. And I very loosely created some agenda, and we're going to kind of be all over this place here today. But one of the things, we were talking a little bit about this as far as some expansion plans for REtoken. And let me make this a little bit bigger here for everybody. This is Notion. This is where we keep track of all of the things: project management, agenda, meeting notes, knowledge base, all of that. So it's kind of like an all-in-one tool that we have begun using here. And again, let me make this bigger for everybody on the Zoom and on the live stream whenever they may be watching the replay here. So expansion plans for REtoken and TokenTown. TokenTown is our flagship project of REtoken, the real estate DAO. TokenTown, our tagline there is the HOA destroyer. And one of the things, so we've got a couple elements that we're looking for besides this blockchain bootcamp for real estate. We're really believing that real estate is going to still be a locally driven, relationship driven situation for a lot of different reasons. I'm sure technology is going to amplify that and make that a little bit different. And one of the things that in Miami there at this conference, this real estate and crypto conference that I was at, is how the metaverse will fit into the strategy. We're not going to really talk about that here today, but that will be something that will be a component in our upcoming blockchain bootcamp for real estate. And if you could get me a link for that, Mrs. Yonk, so that I can throw up the Eventbrite link so that I can show people that here momentarily, that would be absolutely fabulous. So one of the, there's a couple areas and one of the things that I was wanting to, that I'm kind of thinking right now with the organizational structure of like Triple Win Foundation, we do have registered as a nonprofit corporation in Wyoming, and with the initial presence that we have, largely due to Mrs. Yonks and myself and some of the other people here within REtoken, Colorado is already, like, we have a meetup group. Let me actually bring open our meetup group for REtoken here in Colorado. And meetup is going to play a very important strategy. And here is our REtoken meetup group. And we also have another meetup group. So one of the reasons that we like meetup.com is that it makes it easy to connect with people within a particular geographic area through common interests. So here, the common interest would be real estate and how we are building our DAO. And for those that may or may not be familiar with a DAO, that stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And let me actually go to the, let me actually just put it here on the live stream channel. So here is our, and thank you, Double D, for your first comment. And this is our Discord server for REtoken, the real estate DAO. And one of the things that's going to be a conversation is how that we're going to incorporate, like right here, this is the 3winDAO ecosystem. Right now we have multiple Discord servers. I'm kind of at the preference right now of consolidating. I'll come back to this later because I kind of went off on that tangent. So let me actually put a link in here for the REtoken DAO or REtoken meetup group in Colorado. And besides Tennessee, which is where Amy and Rosetta are from, met somebody at the conference in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So Tennessee is very high on our roadmap as far as expanding into. And this is one of the things that we have on our agenda here to kind of talk about. And I'm going to put this as a bullet point in our Notion page here. So let's see, I'll just do this like this. Bulleted list. So meetup groups. And let's see, here's a link. Let me bring this over. So here's a create bookmark. So here's the, we've got 3 meetup groups that we're using right now as a component of the Triple Win Foundation strategy. This is the first one. And one of the things that we'll probably do here pretty soon is move this into the 3winDAO ecosystem. So this is one of the things that I think would be, as far as expanding into a new area, the easiest, because each meetup group that we launch has, what is it, Tyler, an overhead of $30 a month? Is that correct?
Yeah, it's $30 a month.
So that's something that we need to be mindful of, because we want to keep our overhead low. We're still working on developing a revenue stream. One of the things that we're very excited about as far as developing this revenue stream is this blockchain bootcamp for real estate. And we'll be talking about that a little bit here later. But one of the things, again, so I'm thinking the way that we're structuring things, and let me actually just show, let me bring this open here. So let's make this the original, make this a little bigger here so everybody can see this. So this is a Figma that I made back in November. We already, this yellow bubble for REtoken here on the right, we're actually going to be moving this, and that's one of the things that's an ongoing process. We already put forward a temp check, and everybody was on board with that. And that's one of the things that we're still figuring out what that's going to look like, to just provide some synergies. And Notion is one of those tools that we're doing that with. So just wanted to bring that up here. Again, Triple Win Foundation is a nonprofit corporation that we've registered in Wyoming. And to support our efforts here in Colorado, we have already registered Triple Win Foundation as a foreign nonprofit corporation here in Colorado as well. And the goal is to obtain a 501c3 designation with the IRS for Triple Win Foundation. And that's one of the things that will be an ongoing conversation. It's not something that we're going to prioritize super high here. And I don't know what the process looks like. And we'll take those conversations offline. Here very recently, like, let me actually bring that up here next, is another meetup group, since we're talking about meetup, is this Our Home, and we've got 2. So this is the one that I was talking about, the Cooperative Housing Investment Club, and that corresponds to I-100 Club and Our Home Co-op. So not going to go into detail on that right now. I'm just making some notes here as far as what it looks like. And there's more infrastructure required as far as setting up the investment club. And again, it's pretty preliminary what this is going to look like. And a lot of people aren't familiar with the concept of an investment club. It kind of fell off pretty substantially with the proliferation of the internet. And we really believe that this is going to be an absolutely fabulous vehicle. Not going to go into details here why that we're so excited about the investment club framework. That's probably like a half an hour or an hour conversation itself. But anyway, let me go ahead and go back to our agenda just so that I can add this into the strategy here. So there's 3 meetup groups again that we're using. REtoken, and this is one that's for a cooperative housing investment club. And the goal here is to really help renters become owners through cooperative housing. So, and then we've got one other one, and this is more of a generic crypto group that we've got. And again, this is a very preliminary strategy, and Mrs. Yonks and I minted a social token, CO-WIN or COW-IN, as Mrs. Yonks likes to jokingly refer to it. So the idea here is using Meetup as kind of like a funnel through these 3 interest groups. Like REtoken, the real estate, is obviously geared to people interested specifically in real estate. The Co-op Housing Investment Club is geared for people that are interested in cooperative housing. We're very passionate about creating affordable housing solutions, but more importantly, not just affordable housing, equitable affordable housing, because most conversations that I've seen regarding affordable housing don't have an equity component. And we really feel that that's a travesty and that we're working on providing solutions for. So I'm going to stop talking and allow anybody to ask some questions here real quick on this. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, one of the things that has been exciting about this is there are, particularly in Denver, some pretty vibrant communities. One of the ones that we like is called Cryptorado. It's a, they attract maybe somewhere between 50 and 100 people kind of in and out. They do it a couple times a month. And there isn't a formal program. There's no speaker. It's basically just a giant multi-hour happy hour where people come in and connect. And I've met a lot of interesting people talking about different projects. So one of the things that we need to figure out from a meetup strategy is, do we want to take more of a community building approach on this, or do we want to take a more educational approach? The other thing is, because the Web3 blockchain, all the space is so new, most of our meetup members in the Colorado meetup group don't live here. So that was something that I'd never really thought about. I always figured the one thing with the pandemic was Meetup used to not allow virtual meetups. Now they do. And that looks like that's here to stay. So we need to figure out if our meetup is going to be educational or if it's going to be social. Because obviously, if you've got a guy in Baltimore, a guy in Miami, a guy in Toronto, you're not going to have a happy hour. But are we going to focus more on building out local events and local happy hours, local social events, whatever type? Or do we want to focus more on the online classes? So that's kind of the first thing. And the second thing is, we need to figure out if this is going to be purely social, more of a meet and greet, or if we want to do an educational program, whether that's in person or virtual, because we really want to shape these as the structure that we do them in the other cities we expand to.
Yeah, thanks for providing some additional insight on that. I think that that's something, Mrs. Yonks, that we need to just get good at as far as getting feedback and really getting a pulse on what the people in the group, what value that they would really like to derive. And that's an ongoing work in progress. And we're open for ideas and thoughts from everybody on that is interested in that. So, and the thing that kind of excited about here is we're looking, go ahead. I heard somebody go ahead, Amy.
Yeah, I think we can do both. A lot of meetups, they would have, you know, a little bit of social and a little bit of educational. So I don't know if you've considered doing that.
I would absolutely agree, Amy. And that's, I think the fabulous thing is that, you know, we can utilize and again, see what works well. And, you know, we can do in person and online. I mean, right now, this is obviously an online, didn't have time to get this particular working group scheduled, and that's within meetup.com. And apologies for to the community here for the late notice on this particular one. And that's something, again, that we're committed at continuing to get better and better at here. But look, one of the things that wanted to show the big power of this is the Meetup Pro. And this is, again, some of the advantages of building out this network. So the 3winDAO ecosystem, because as you can see, we've got two of the clubs, or actually, and we haven't moved REtoken, because this is one that we've had a little bit longer, even before we made the proposal to incorporate like this, again, going back to this Figma, we made the proposal to incorporate REtoken, this yellow bubble, into the Triple Win Foundation ecosystem. And we'll be talking more about that, creating more documentation, making that more clear, because we really believe that this will provide a solid framework to be compliant. That's one of the things that Mrs. Yonks and I are very diligent about, working to maintain compliance, and we're getting closer and closer to I think having a solid foundation where we can more affordably bring in legal counsel to kind of smooth out some of these strategies, plug some of the holes that we may have, and stuff like that. So that's leveraging some of our experience that we've had with other endeavors as far as bringing in, because it's real easy to bring in legal counsel. And one of the I'm not going to go into details from one of the events, but it really resonated with me. One of the speakers was talking about that, and you know, with where we're at, especially regarding DAOs, you can ask 10 different attorneys and you'll get 10 different answers, and it will be a broad spectrum, because right now it's so early. There's not really any agreed upon best practices within the legal profession. And not only that, how DAOs operate. And this is something that Mrs. Yonks and I, and I'm sure Amy and Double D have some experience about. Every DAO operates very differently. And so from like there's DAOs that we've participated in that don't care about having a legal framework. And anyway, we're not going to go off on that right now, but that's coming back to this. Go ahead, Tyler.
The other thing about this, and I want to move on, we got more to cover, is each group has the ability to have its own tokenomics. So CO win is for Colorado. TN win could be for Tennessee, or Memphis win, or whatever. I mean, we can make each group have its own tokens, or we could do a kind of an overlay token if we wanted to say, hey, you just participate in the whole global community. So we've got some opportunities on that. The biggest thing is that we want to reward people who show up and learn, who show up and teach, who show up and ask questions, who just show up in whatever way, because the original thought on REtoken was we're trying to disrupt neighborhoods and we're trying to build communities that are in a new way. So this isn't just a show up on a Zoom and don't say anything and earn tokens, because if nobody, that's basically just POAP farming functionally. So we just want to make sure that people are showing up to engage and to participate, and not just to show up and get tokens.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know if everybody was seeing here, but I was adding states of highest interest. And one of the reasons that we're kind of looking at uh, on a state by state strategy here, just to keep some geography in context, but it's also just from a compliance standpoint. Like one of the questions that Amy asked is like this triple win foundation. Is that something that we're going to have to register in each state? And that's one of the things we've already registered Triple Win Foundation in Colorado. And my expectation is that it will be better to register Triple Win Foundation in each state because we're wanting to acquire real estate owned by an entity with the goal of tokenizing that. And that's one of the things that go ahead, Tyler.
Let's go into syndicate now. Is that next on the agenda?
Well, before we do that, one of the things that I was wanting to figure out here, expanding into these 3 states is a very high interest. And I believe that the sooner that we, as you have seen, Tyler, you throw up a meetup group, and just with the meetup framework, the opportunity of attracting people to that, because with this blockchain bootcamp, I like to look at the meetup group as kind of like a funnel for this blockchain bootcamp, and we're expecting this blockchain bootcamp to be a solid revenue stream. So my thoughts is that I would really like to create these meetup groups in these 3 states here as soon as possible. And just the REtoken, because I don't want scope creep right now, as far as, because we already mentioned that each meetup group costs an extra $30 per meetup group. So kind of my thoughts here are to create a REtoken, the real estate DAO, in Tennessee, in Texas, in Florida. And I believe that as we continue to grow, the opportunity of, like Miami is almost like its own country, honestly. I mean, there's so many people in Miami. Miami's got like 5 or 10 million people in the metro area, but the opportunity for us to add additional ones as we bring in revenue, that's kind of my thoughts. And then add some of these additional supporting groups, because like this Web3 DAOs, NFTs in the metaverse, that's a very like crypto forward group. And then the co-op housing investment club. So that's kind of my thoughts is here. And one of the important dates to remember, and let me actually bring this up real quick here. Thank you, Mrs. Yonks, for the the Eventbrite link. And I'm going to put this in the channel here real quick for everybody. Go ahead, Tyler.
By the way, I wanted to talk through a couple things. With our previous event, DAO Day, we only were letting people buy tickets in the cryptocurrency Matic, and there were a bunch of people that wanted to get in that were scrambling last minute, and they didn't have it in their wallet, and they couldn't figure out how to buy it, and it was a challenge. So we wanted to use Eventbrite because Eventbrite is completely Web 2. They don't take crypto at all, but if you want to put it on a credit card, it's something that it's really easy, it's really clean, high level of security with the credit card processing. And if somebody needs a refund for whatever reason, I can just click a button and give them a refund. I don't have to go through any reversing with Stripe or whatever. So it's just really clean, really easy. And they also have some decent analytics so that we can see where people are finding the event. Once we have Unlock set up, we do want to offer Unlock as an option so that people can pay for things in crypto. We can't set up credit card processing with Unlock until we get our bank account set up for Triple Win Foundation. So we're in the process of setting that up right now. And as soon as that goes live, we'll get that set up. So we're going to have both. We do want to make sure that, especially because this is blockchain 101 for real estate, I can't imagine a higher barrier to entry to somebody who doesn't really understand blockchain than saying, hey, get a crypto wallet on your own, figure out what Matic is on your own, get it on your own, buy our ticket, and then we'll teach you what blockchain is, what Matic is, how wallets work, how to get crypto in the conference that you already are figured out. So we just thought that was be kind of ironic if we put up that barrier on the front end.
For sure. And I'm not sure what the price range is here. That's something. Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, if you click on the tickets on the green button. This is just early bird, post early bird, and then I put in a discount for students. So
nice. Okay.
That's where the range is on that. And the other thing I like about this is that on March 31st, the early bird will just disappear. So you just won't see that anymore.
And this is going to be unlike any type of event, I believe, that has been created before. And I'm a little biased, but the reason that I say that is that this isn't a one-time event. This is something that we're going to be doing on a monthly basis. Similar to how we did International DAO Day through Token Summit using hopin.com. It's going to be an online event at first, and it's going to be, we're working towards figuring out a hybrid strategy, putting that out there. I don't really know what that's going to look like, but again, the opportunity of combining with our meetup groups on a local basis, potentially do some hand holding, make those in-person connections there.
It's probably going to depend on what kind of a turnout that we get. So we are probably, and where we have hosts, so we can just say, hey, if we have 1,000 people sign up for this thing, just saying, hey, we're having an after party in Denver and Memphis. If you're in one of those cities, you can sign up. If you're not in one of those cities and you want to host it, reach out, whatever. We can make some things work like that from a hybrid standpoint. But really just the question is, we need to figure out where our audience is first and then figure out the after party.
So going back to the states of highest interest, the reason that Tennessee is of the highest interest is we have Amy in Tennessee. We also have Rosetta Davis in Tennessee. And then we have somebody else that I met here just at this crypto and blockchain, or crypto and real estate summit here in Miami a couple days ago, in another city in Tennessee, in Chattanooga. So we have some interested parties that are wanting to position themselves as through that. And that's one of the things that we're really wanting to make this easier for the people to really position themselves and work together. That's one of the things that we're going to be doing more intentionally as far as creating collaborative means. That's the big value proposition that DAOs really facilitate is collaboration in the space. So the reason that Texas is of interest, Texas is very forward on crypto. They've got Texas Blockchain Council there. One of our core contributors is based in Austin. And then I met multiple people in Austin. I think I exchanged contact details with 3 or 4 people in Austin. And then, Dallas, I mean, there's a lot of people moving to Texas as well. Same thing with Florida. Had the opportunity of hearing Mayor Francis Suarez there in Miami. Miami has Miami Coin. They're doing some great things in especially South Florida, Miami, very much so. And again, the opportunity of utilizing the framework, and then as we grow, creating more niche situations, but having it more on a statewide basis initially, I think will provide a solid strategy. And then as we continue to grow, if it makes sense to have like the real estate DAO in Miami or in Tampa or in Nashville, Tennessee, or in Dallas, Texas, or Austin, Texas, I think what is definitely something that we could scale towards pretty quickly. So that's kind of what my thoughts are right now. And I would actually like to put this forward as a for consideration to launch these 3 meetup groups. This will again create a $90 a month OpEx for REtoken the Real Estate DAO, so 30 per each meetup group. But my expectation with the way that we're creating this blockchain bootcamp for real estate that we were just talking about, because when you think about what will it take for that to be a profitable meetup group, we only have to have one person a month come through the meetup group and say, hey, I want to participate in this blockchain bootcamp for real estate, for that meetup group to be a break-even dynamic. If we have two, that makes that meetup group profitable as far as from a cost standpoint. Does that make sense for everybody?
I think we should wait until we have an organizer in each city. If the person wants to be an organizer, then yeah, let's go ahead and launch it. But I don't want to launch it and wait for an organizer.
Well, my thoughts are we, 3winDAO, can be the organizer, because the ability for us to, through the Meetup Pro network, create a meetup that goes out automatically to all of the groups within that network. That way we don't have to do it onesie or twosie. And the opportunity again to create a funnel here for blockchain bootcamp for real estate, that's kind of my thoughts. And from a timing standpoint, but again, we can take that offline. Right now, my thoughts are to put this forward for a temp check and see how the rest of the community thinks on that. And that's one of the things, just to put this out here to the universe. If you're interested, if you see the potential of real estate plus blockchain, come talk to us, because we're really wanting people that want to be leaders, and we want to make it easier for you to position yourself as a crypto, blockchain, real estate expert, professional, whatever label that you want to call yourself in your particular geographic area. And we're definitely more interested in the US right now. And that's because we believe if we can figure out how to do this here in the US, crack this nut here in the US, and we're taking a security token path to market, not only for REtoken the Real Estate DAO, but also for the properties that we are wanting to tokenize. So anyway, is there any objections to putting it forward as a temp check through Discord and on our forum? Well, I'm going to add that as a, let's see, next action. Create a temp check for adding REtoken DAO meetup groups in Tennessee, Texas, and Florida. Georgia is also very high on the list. I did make a connection in Atlanta, but that's something don't feel strong enough to put forward. And my thoughts are with this is that we've got, again, until April 23rd. And then my expectation is that these meetup groups should monetize nicely so that we can do the additional meetup groups there and the additional infrastructure for the bigger plan in those areas. So anyway, going to move on to the next topic. And these aren't in any particular order here. And I'm going to actually bump this one up from a priority standpoint. Let me condense this here. This one. So TokenSummitDAO, and TokenSummitDAO is one of the circles here in the Triple Win Foundation organization. Again, want to applaud Mrs. Youngson. That one of the things about this blockchain bootcamp for real estate, like a month ago, it wasn't even an idea. On February 22nd, we delivered International DAO Day, and that's going to segue into a bigger 3-day virtual event. So the reason that we're doing this blockchain bootcamp for real estate and the Token Summit is we really believe that the biggest need in Web3 DAOs and all of this to really have mass adoption, the number one thing is education. And when I was having conversations in person here at this Proppy Crypto and Real Estate Summit, everybody collectively agreed that education is the number one biggest need. And that's, again, why that we came up with the idea for this blockchain bootcamp for real estate is to provide the education. So anyway, TokenSummitDAO was an absolutely fabulous event. We learned a lot, and like that's one of the reasons that we created the affiliate component. It was something that we wanted to do for DAO Day on 2/22/22. We just didn't have enough time to put that into place. And that's one of the reasons that we're utilizing Eventbrite right now. Is it's easier to put that in place for us while we're working on refining and creating a Web3 native situation. And again, with this blockchain bootcamp for real estate 101, it may be that we want to continue to use an Eventbrite strategy, and we'll have to garner what we learn here from this blockchain bootcamp and make a decision for that. But one of the things that my thoughts are right now on Coordinate, and let me see if I'm logged in here. I'm not. I'm gonna get signed in here on that, and I'm gonna bring this off screen real quick. So, so again, thank you, Mrs. Yonks, for all that you did to make Token Summit DAO Day a success. Right now, my thoughts are with the efforts that we're putting forward, and this is something that I'm going to continue to suggest is, while we're talking about building blockchain bootcamp for real estate, continue to have Token Summit, because on 6/22, and let me show here real quick our Token Summit, and this is, since we're talking about Token Summit, I'll bring this. So Token Summit 6/22, and very, very excited. It's going to be a 3-day event, but I'm gonna stop talking, and I'm gonna let Mrs. Yonks talk to the that real quick while I'm getting logged in over here on my end.
On Token Summit 6/22 or on Blockchain Bootcamp?
Yeah, no, we're gearing towards. So one of the things that's been looming as far as what the success was, what the and let me actually bring it up here on Hopin real quick. Our event. So this was our event here on Hopin and for International DAO Day. And that's one of the things that I think that we need to get. We need to get a new logo for Token Summit 6/22. So that's something. Oh, and let me I'll bring this up. And is there anything that you wanted me to look at or navigate to on this page?
On the schedule, the second tab, right under the blue Token Summit, to speakers, get right above your picture. Sponsor schedule speakers. Go to the schedule. Yeah, so this is this was really nice, just be able to have a quick opening ceremony. We wanted to, for the blockchain bootcamp and for this, it's just nice to have some purpose and talk, set the expectation for the day. The format for DAO Day was all interviews. That worked really well. We had a legal panel that was outstanding. That was, I believe, the only panel. Everything else was a one-on-one interview. So as far as the wins, the speakers were all awesome. The content was really good. The Hopin, I thought, was pretty easy to use. We didn't have anybody having problems logging into the back end of Hopin and things like that. They provided recordings. They did a lot of it was done for you, and that was all really nice. Moving forward to DAO Day, or to the Token Summit 6/22, a couple things I would change. One is I would like to do more panels. I think that one-on-one interviews can be a little overwhelming for people that aren't panels just tend to work a little bit better. You get more multiple perspectives to the same question. The keynotes, I would still like to do one-on-one. I would love to reach out to Mayor Suarez of Miami, Senator Loomis, potentially Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon, who is he's also a crypto guy, and potentially Governor Jared Polis of Colorado. So there are a handful of crypto friendly politicians. I would love to feature some of them in the agenda if we can. We're also looking at doing a day on DAOs, a day on NFTs, and a day on tokenized projects. So we didn't do really any booths or back-end networking just because we were on such a time crunch. Now that we're on it's still a time crunch for a 3-day event. I mean, the stuff just sneaks up on you, especially when you're trying to do sponsors and everything else. But I need to ask more broadly, and we need to do this maybe in a Discord poll, Jason, is to follow up and ask people what on the team they want to do. And for anybody who's listening on YouTube right now, what is it that you would like to do? Do you want to help with speakers? Do you want to help sell tickets? Do you want to help organize booths? Do you want to do outreach? There's a lot of stuff that needs to get done. And I absolutely do not have bandwidth to put together a 3-day conference by myself. If we're trying to put together a blockchain bootcamp every month, I'm going to need a lot more help than I actually asked for DAO Day. I was just kind of scrambling and wanting to do it all myself, and I didn't do a good job reaching out to the team. So I would really love your help. I'd really love all of your help on that. And what went not wrong, but I think we just ran out of time, was I would have liked to have added a lot more pre-setup for networking and having sponsor booths and breakout sessions and a lot of things that if we'd had 3 or 4 months to plan this thing instead of 1, I would have added all that stuff in. So those are all things that I want to think about and just do them really well. And filling up the agenda with great speakers is a high priority. And then getting the tickets sold and getting sponsors is not an overnight or instant process. It really takes a lot of trial and error on that.
And I went ahead and brought up Coordinate on TokenSummitDAO. And this is one of the things that my expectation should be very different. I'm very optimistic about this blockchain bootcamp that we're going to be hosting, because we're gonna have 3 blockchain bootcamps under our belt before the next Token Summit. So the opportunity at each one of these blockchain bootcamps to pitch to the audience there, Token Summit 622 coming up on June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd will absolutely exist. So that's one of the things that I really want to bake in and make sure that we allocate. Potentially even anyway, that's kind of the thoughts there. Again, we're going to have 3 of these blockchain boot camps in April, May, and June before the next Token Summit on June 21st, 22nd, 23rd. So my expectation is that the numbers from a participation standpoint and contributors should look very different. But go ahead, Tyler.
I think that we should look at skipping blockchain bootcamp in June because the 3-day event is going to be massive and really time consuming. I think we should do it April, May, skip June, July, August.
Well, we don't need to make a decision on that right now, because my expectation is let's take that offline too. So anyway, the thing that I've got up here is Coordinate. And right now my thoughts are to pause the Coordinate until after we get this blockchain bootcamp for real estate on 423 completed. So looking, and I'm going to go ahead and bring open the REtokenDAO calendar. And this is one of the things that going to migrate to is going to set up a 3winDAO calendar as we discussed on our previous conversation. So I'll have the links out for that. I'm gonna create that as a specific action item here on the Notion agenda for today. Let me do that here. Create 3winDAO Google Calendar. This was probably on an action item from somewhere else that I didn't get done, but I'm going to put it on here just as another action item. So, and consolidate REtoken and Token Summit calendars. All right, so then we'll just have a 3winDAO Google Calendar here for next week. But anyway, I was wanting to look at the calendar. So look at the month. So thoughts are to curb the coordinates. So 4/23, this is when we've got the blockchain bootcamp for real estate. So Monday, the 25th is when I believe that we should start season 1 in TokenSummitDAO and start having some preliminary conversations. What are your thoughts on that, Tyler, Amy, Double D, anybody on the live stream watching?
For having one consolidated calendar?
No, for pausing the coordinate until, and then have April 23rd, or no, April 25th, which is week 17, kick off season 1 of Token Summit.
I think we should keep it going. I don't think we should pause or keep. I think we should keep it going because we're going to need people to be incentivized to do things, and they either will or they won't. But I would never take away an extra incentive when people could be doing stuff in the background. I think I would like to take more responsibility to get organized and put either that, or I guess we could just pause coordinate and just do everything through bounties and see how that goes. But I want to give people the direct opportunity to earn.
That's kind of my thoughts. And I mean, just looking here at coordinate, I mean, for the last several epochs, we've only had a couple people participate. And honestly, the conversation is going to largely be, at least from my perspective, going to be focused on blockchain bootcamp for real estate and not thinking a whole lot, except for the opportunity to put forward, you know, kind of just planting the seed for Token Summit, kind of like what I did here today, but spinning the extra cycles. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts as well.
Yeah, it's fine. If we pause coordinate, but we do bounties, that'd be good. We need to get a lot more specific and organized about doing bounties because I think there's so many people that want to help and they're not quite sure what needs to get done. And so I think a lot of people are kind of waiting on the sidelines for somebody to ask them to do something so they can figure out what fits in their schedule and what they want to do.
Right. So I'm just going to put that here as a decision. Pause Token Summit coordinate until 2022 week 17, which is 25 April 2022. And then that would kick off season 1 of TokenSummitDAO. So let me go ahead and do that right now in our working group. Coordinate is a great tool for permissionlessly contributing and doing work. We've got multiple videos on that, but let me go ahead and edit the settings here. So we're going to say that the it doesn't look like this is where I do it. So let me try this little pencil here. So this epoch repeats weekly. So this epoch does not repeat. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. So this will be the final epoch of Token Summit DAO. So we do have an open epoch. So anybody that was participating in Token Summit DAO, be sure to allocate your gives on that. And anyway, is there any thoughts on the coordinate pausing right now until what I just said on the Discord there, which was Oh, hey, hello, Julie. Welcome to the live stream. Driving in the snow. Sorry, I'm missing the meeting. I'll catch up on replay. So we're kind of all over the board on this one. That's why we made it the 3winDAO found Triple Win working group here today. So there are lots of a random agenda, but go ahead, Tyler. I see you've got your mic open.
Yeah, I was going to say, Julie, the biggest thing that you missed that we want to catch you up on is the 3winDAO. I think from now on, we're going to be doing ecosystem calls and then project working groups so that we can say, this is the specific thing that we need to focus on. Everything else is going to be about supporting the ecosystem. So that's new. The other thing is we're going to be consolidating some of the Discord stuff, and that'll be great. So yeah, if we want to pause that's fine. And we need to get the calendar more up to date. My goal is to have everything planned out as much as possible, at least a week in advance, 2 weeks for stuff that's recurring. And I need to check all the settings on everything to make sure that people that are subscribed to the calendars are getting pop-ups. So if they miss something in Sesh or Discord, or they're not in Discord, they're just subscribing to us outside of that they're getting notified of when stuff's happening, because that tends to be the easiest way to get it out there.
Agree, and we'll work on getting the workflow streamlined a little better. And we've been making a lot of changes, and like one of which is putting DWork in place, our bounty board. And this is something I don't even know that if I've done much live streaming on here. The Triple Win Foundation is again the nonprofit corporation that we are setting up for the organizational framework. And this is one of the things that created it to support the investment clubs, which is going under the I-100 Club brand. And so we also have the REtoken and the Token Summit bounty boards, and whether it makes sense to consolidate that right now, that's not really something that I feel is a high enough priority. But let's actually take a look here, because we've been talking about TokenSummitDAO. So we do have the next 3 boards on here for Token Summit. This is coming up on, again, June 21st, 22nd, 23rd. And then the one that I actually wanted to show over here was the one for REtoken, the real estate DAO. And again, I think I created the REtoken camp, and we've got some contributors and admins added here, and we're just barely starting to utilize the DWork bounty boards. And we're in the process of migrating some of our stuff from Trello. But one of the things that I wanted to do here real quick was one of the bounties that was approved. Let's see. I think I already paid out the article, or the one that I was wanting to do here. And let me open this in the REtoken DAO. This is I probably need to log into this too. So let me get that in here. So this is the REtokenDAO.eth hot wallet, and I'm just going to log in to the MetaMask here, because I was actually going to pay out a bounty to DCIS, who did some what is it called, banners, social media banners. So let's see. Oh, that's wrong.
I was going to ask you about that. I moved his stuff to in review. I didn't see a button to approve it. I don't know if I don't have privileges on that, or if I'm not doing it right.
We'll talk about that here momentarily. And that's one of the reasons that I actually switched. And this is something that will work again on getting some better workflow surrounding. And that's one of the reasons that I switched to this profile, because right now it's probably has the approver listed as the hot wallet, which is REtokenDAO.eth. But let me get this board opened here. And this is the one that has the REtoken for paying out bounties currently. and whether we want to incorporate a Gnosis multi-sig hot wallet in there. And if I don't talk about that, because that was one of the concerns that you've been voicing as far as the TokenSummitDAO, which we do need to do, and we might even allocate some time here to do that today. And I don't know if we wanted to do that or if we wanted to put forward another vote on that, but we do need to get the TokenSummitDAO Gnosis Safe set up on Polygon. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say one of our multi-sigs on Token Summit is going to dropped out. So we need to, we took a snapshot on who the multi-sig should be. I don't know if we can just change it to 4 of 7 without the person. So we had it as 5 of 8 and we voted on our 8, but then one of our members is sort of no longer with us. And I don't know if we just drop him and just change it to 4 of 7 and keep everybody else, or if we need to revote on that, how that works.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, my thoughts is that it doesn't cost much to change it. I think that it would be potentially good to go ahead and do the one that we did on our initial proposal. And then that would provide an opportunity for us to learn the process for changing the multi-sigs. But I'm open for, I'm good either way. But I would like to get that done. It's been on one of the things that's been on the list for a while. Right. So I'm looking here at the bounty. This is the one, and let me show on here. So we have and this is the REtokenDAO Discord server. We'll have more conversations here at the community call. We've got the REtoken community call. Let me change this to a weekly view. The community call we host is at 7 o'clock on Wednesday, 7 Eastern time. And that's one of the things Mrs. Yonks helped me to make sure that we get the session event created here as soon as possible. Maybe even if you wanted to do that right now, we're going to continue to keep the REtoken community call on the calendar at that same time slot. Go ahead, Tyler.
Are we going to rename it the 3winDAO ecosystem call, or it's going to be specifically on REtoken?
I'm not sure. Let's keep the one coming up here.
I'm just gonna call it community call, and then we can just figure that out later.
Fabulous. Yeah, and that's something that can be conversational. You know, like I understand that change is hard, and what we're doing here is very complicated from a framework, and not going to go into details as to why, but and trying to keep it as simple as possible, even though that it's a more involved framework that we're building out here. But anyway, one of the things here, so I was looking at the bounty for the graphic design work. So this is again the hot wallet. So let me actually see what this looks like. I'm going to just click on the approve button here for this one, and let me see if this was another. I think this is one that I actually submitted myself. I'll do that one here momentarily as well. But DWork, and we're going to be using DWork a lot more. And this is again something that open for ideas, and we're really wanting to create some onboarding framework too, but not going to go into detail about that. But anyway, I'm going to try clicking first on this approve button right here and see what happens. So that automatically moves it to the done workflow, and that wasn't what I wanted because I don't have the. So let me move that back to in review. So
by the way, with Discord, if somebody logs in with Discord instead of with their wallet, do we automatically get their wallet when we hit done so that they get paid, or do we have to manually make sure that we've got their wallet attached to?
No, and that's one of the things that will show up here momentarily. So so when I click on, when I clicked on approve here, this doesn't actually approve the submission in the workflow here. So I'm actually gonna click on approve here, and then that moved it over here. So now it has the pay button. So let me see what, okay, so that's the workflow method that has to happen. So when I clicked on approve, it didn't previously have DSIS and D size. I'm not sure how to say that. as the assignee. And when I clicked on the approve for their work here, it automatically moved it to the assignees and it moved it to the needs payment over here. So right now we've got the payment methodology set up as the REtoken hot wallet. And this is, again, an opportunity for us to potentially explore the workflow and move that to DWork does support Gnosis multi-sig safe. And I don't know if that's something that we'll want to do, or if we want to use a hot wallet, we'll have to kind of explore here. And we'll, as we always do, share what we're learning here. And that's one of the things that we love doing, and we love collaborating with other DAO contributors as well. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and click on pay. And this is, again, thank you, D-Size, for what you contributed here. We already, you saw the banner on our blockchain bootcamp for real estate. So this was the banner that he created. It's got a nice little network effect going on down below with the color for REtoken. And I kind of like the color variation, because that really brings some additional what do you call it? Real estate, as far as, you know, that actually stands for something. So really like that. But anyway, let me go ahead and click on pay here on this bounty. Oh, I'm on the wrong window. Get back to the pink window here. So click on pay. Oh, so this has no payments method. So we'll have to get back and do this offline after D-Size gets a, so this, does that answer your question now, Tyler, as far as the wallet stuff goes?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so those of you that are using DWork, make sure that you have your, not only Discord, but your whatever wallet connected. We normally use MetaMask. We found that that's easiest and most compatible with the stuff. So I'll share that screenshot in the thread. Let me do that right now so that I don't forget. And one of the things that that happens is in this thread, and I don't know if it archived it. So let's see, graphic design work, and it looks like it might have archived it, but let's see. Need you to connect your wallet so we can complete payments using dwork.xyz. And I'll paste in this screenshot here too with the little thing. All right, cool. Well, moving on, I don't know if this was one of the agenda things, but it was something that wanted to discuss. And let me just add that real quick as a completed. And let me do this other one real quick, because this one, and this is one that is an idea and still wanting to do a better job on this. And this is like, we've got one here that is so Dog Big, and I don't know if he really followed the directions very well, but this is an idea to do an article of the day. Let me actually show you the one that I did here a couple days ago, and let me link this in the here's in the live stream channel. Here is a new daily opportunity for people to earn REtoken. And this is one of the things that we're just wanting to get more consistent from a content strategy about. Here's an example of the, so this is article of the day, and I'm gonna do a new one on a weekly basis. And let's see, so this is the one that I did. And here, let me show you the tweet that I did. So here's how I submitted the my thread. So this was the article that I found, and then I provided a link there to the article, and then I provided a little blog or some bullet points. And most of this was just copied and pasted. A few of the blockchain use cases in real estate include the following. deed records and land titles, tokenization. Tokenization is the bullet point that we're really looking to build out solutions for here at REtoken, the real estate DAO. Leasing and payments. We're also looking at implementing solutions in Triple Win Foundation for that, as well as along with the real-time accounting, along with the tenant identity. So the only one that we're really not personally concerned with on our roadmap within this Triple Win Foundation DAO ecosystem that we're creating is this first one here, deed records and land titles. And there's lots of other organizations that are chasing that opportunity. Proppy, for example, has an interesting process, and it'll be interesting to see how we may or may not incorporate Proppy into our process. The opportunity of having an NFT. Anyway, I'm not going to go into details as far as what they have set up there. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, here's the tweet too that created for that. I'll throw that in the live stream channel. And this is one of the things too, anybody that's interested in being more engaged from a social media contribution standpoint, reach out to myself or Mrs. Yonks. We would love to have you in the loop on that. You know, we want more people to contribute more here in 2022, and we're working on creating a better framework that makes that easier. And this is one of the ways that we're doing that, is to get people contributing some ideas that we can. So here's what that tweet looked like when I sent it. And again, I'm gonna so basically some copy and paste. You know, it's got a link to the article. It's got the bullet points there from the article, and then it's got an image of the article. And again, the idea is to just consistently provide more content across all of the channels, social media channels. And anyway, so going, let me go ahead and approve this. Does anybody have any thoughts or ideas on this article of the day content piece here while we're in DWork right now?
I was really thrilled that DCIS came out of nowhere with the graphic design and joined the community to win a bounty. So I'm hoping that some writers or some other people will find us on these public bounties. I think that is great. And the other thing that I want to start pushing myself on more is to just start writing stuff up. Just the discipline of writing gets easier when you just do it all the time. It's hard if you're writing a couple articles a year. It's really painful, and then you edit and delete and edit and delete. If you get in the habit of just pushing out tons of content, then it just gets easier.
And thank you for bringing that up here, Tyler, because this is our page on mirror.xyz. For those that may or may not be familiar with mirror.xyz, it's a good way to describe it is a Web3 native medium.com. So it's basically a blogging platform. And yeah, I saw your comment. We did have Double D in Zoom. We did have a due date on the social media banners for, I think it was March the 9th. And we'll create a new one here for Triple Win, like Triple WinDAO. Like right now, we've got it's a very basic and on the logo here. And here I'll bring that up. I say logo. It's really the number 3 emoji. So the opportunity of like creating some logos, and I don't know if it makes sense right now, or if I'm kind of thinking that it would probably be better to wait until maybe a May timeframe to really think about doing some type of contest. But anyway, just putting that out there for consideration. But we're going to be doing some more graphic design stuff. One that we probably can and should bring forward is for blockchain bootcamp for real estate. You know, because we do have, you know, we've been doing some POAPs, and we'll be doing more and more, having more conversations about blockchain bootcamp for real estate. But going back to mirror.xyz, here is the dashboard for mir.xyz. And thank you, Mrs. Yonks, for saying that you want to get better at the written content. And just wait for this page to refresh, because I believe I already added you as a contributor here. And I'll come back to this tab later because it's not showing the details. And I don't know if there's a settings button or if I need to connect. Anyway, but I did add you as a contributor, and anybody that likes creating written content that would like to be a contributor, again, reach out to us and we'll be doing more bounties. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and refresh this and do a pay on this one that I just did so that everybody can see what it looks like, because I definitely have my wallet connected. So you saw that the bounty was 25 REtoken, and then it just brings up the thing to pay. This will again look very different from the what do you call it? The Gnosis multi-safe, because then you would have multiple people on that. But anyway, let's go back to our bullet points here. So I'm going to put completed some things in D work for REtokenDAO. All right. So we talked about Token Summit Season 1. Been talking a little bit about the integration of REtoken into 3winDAO. Talked about the org structure. So blockchain bootcamp for real estate 101. So we've got one of the things wanting to get either here on Monday or Tuesday. And it seemed like the 7 o'clock time frame works really well. So let's just plan for a working group for blockchain bootcamp for real estate for 7 o'clock. Now the question is, Tyler, did we want to do any of these meetup groups on Monday night, or do we want to put it out for the following Monday?
I think that we should. Let me think. Yeah, let's schedule them today for next Monday night, because I'd like to, and then let's just do a Monday night meetup. And
so you say Monday night meetup. I'm wanting to do a blockchain bootcamp for real estate working group to focus. So the thought is either Monday or Tuesday, because I would really like to have a lot more progress made from where we're at today to when our community call is on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay, then let's do a working group on, we could do a working group on Monday and Tuesday, and then we could start the meetups next week.
Okay, sounds good. And we'll probably put one or both of those into the, what's it called? On what we'll create an event for that. I was having the thought lost my mind there. So let's get the an event and we'll take that offline as far as figuring out what to put on Monday and Tuesday. But I like that. Got a lot to do here for all of these projects, and the one that we're going to be talking the most about is a blockchain bootcamp for real estate. But we've just launched this investment club in Colorado, and that's one of the things for those people that are interested in, and we'll take the conversation offline, Amy, because we're, like I said, pipelining Tennessee pretty high priority, and I don't know if any of these are of a particular higher priority than any of the others. But that's pretty much all of the agenda that I got. I'm going to put on here next actions, create some working groups / meetup events for this coming week. And we'll put those on the calendar, and we'll get that circulated as well. But that being said, this was all of the stuff that I was wanting to cover today. Was there some things, Tyler, that I didn't cover that we should talk about? I mean, we have.
Did you talk about Syndicate already?
I did not. Let me actually go there now, and I'll do that in the. And what did you want to talk about Syndicate specifically? Syndicate is
Well,
Go ahead, Tyler.
first of all, I want people to know that I I did a reach out to all 300 plus members of our Discord server. There's just an awful lot of people in our Discord server that are mostly or completely inactive. And I had wanted to just see if they were interested, if they felt invited, do they know what we're doing, whatever. And a lot of people wrote back and said, man, I actually am super interested in this. I would love to participate. How do I do it? So one of the things from an onboarding standpoint, and this is also something that's on our list, is we are going to make very sure, like no more than 10-minute videos, 5 to 10-minute videos. What is REtoken? What is TokenTown? What is Token Summit? So that people understand what we're doing and they can engage. A lot of people have said, hey, I'm interested when you guys are ready to tokenize something. And in the meantime, we've had the governance round of TokenTown open for a while, and one Ethereum is a pretty high barrier of entry, financial barrier of entry for a lot of people. So we had been talking about dropping that down to something that's much more affordable for the average person. And so we formed this legal entity through a platform called syndicate.io. One of the ways that you can be exempt from securities regulation is to have an actively participating group of no more than 99 investors who invest together. And if everybody is active in decision making in whatever way, whether that's, I mean, they don't have to participate constantly all the time, but just when we vote on something, they vote, that, you know, where they show up in working groups, that kind of thing. And if the dollar amount is unlimited, but the number of people is capped at 99 people. So one person can drop in $1 million and everybody else can put in $100 a week. Irrelevant. Once you hit 100 members or more, then you start looking at registration issues and things like that. So we formed this club, for this investment club for our home in Colorado, which is going to be one of the developments. We actually had a private investor give us a soft commitment for 9 Ethereum. So we're going to off to the races on that one. And then we have 5 other holders of TokenTown, and we're going to try and get this governance round built and in. So everybody who would like to participate, maybe, you know, $50 a week, $100 a week, a couple $100 a month, whatever kind of fits in your budget, will be able to start taking those investments and start investing together. And that's what we're building out. So I wanted to let you guys know that we've been talking a lot, been laying a lot of framework, doing educational events and all kinds of stuff. And a lot of people have been asking, well, when are you going to actually start tokenizing stuff? And the answer is, you know, now. So we're ready for that. And I wanted to show everybody the framework and let people know that's what we're doing. The other thing is,
and to be clear, we're not at the point yet where we're actually going to be tokenizing anything. This is the opportunity for people, like Tyler was saying, if you felt that the TokenTown Colorado was a barrier of entry, and let me just TokenTown.net. So what Tyler was talking about was TokenTown.net. The barrier of entry may be at 1 wrapped Ethereum too high for people to participate in, and that's where we launched this investment club. So let's see here, app.syndicate. So this is the investment club that Tyler is speaking about, and we did ourselves to see what this looked like, create or invest 100 USDC into the investment club. And we'll be having more conversations about that. And here pretty soon we'll be having picking up some founding citizen NFTs for TokenTown Colorado in this. And that'll be an ongoing conversation. But one of the things that was looking at doing too, and going back to DWork here real quick. So let's see where that window was at. So going back to DWork, and I'll actually do this in my window over here. So in here for our home investment club, we were talking about, as we do for REbiddle, a platform and blockchain agnostic investment club. And I'm not sure what the time frame is. We launched the investment club that was just showing you. And let me close this window out. So this one is launched on Ethereum mainnet. And whenever I went through the process of, let me actually show the transaction here. So let's see, view on Block Explorer. So when did this transaction for creating or for exchanging the 100 USDC into this token here? And this is the contract address for, let's see, it's this one right here, I believe. Let's see. Okay, here's the token for Co-op Housing Investment Club in Colorado. And this is something that we might want to make slightly shorter, maybe, I don't know. It shows up, I think, on the link. Let me put this link in the Discord. And thank you, White Hat DAO, for saying hello. And here is the link to the token for, and I'll copy and paste this here. In Colorado. Just change that to an upper. Okay. So it does show here Co-op Housing Investment Club on a link. So and we'll be having more conversations about that. And one of the things that we'll be doing in an upcoming meetup for the investment club, going back to the D work, is in this REbiddle, a platform and blockchain agnostic investment club. So what does that mean? So, and this is why I was wanting to show everybody over here, because this is on Ethereum mainnet. So whenever I did the, entered the investment club here with 100 USDC, it was a transaction that resulted in, so basically, I exchanged my USDC, the stable coin, for 1-to-1 for the token, this REco token right here. And that's what the investment club here at Syndicate does, is they track the investment, the cap table for the people that invest in the investment club. So what I was wanting to show, though, is that transaction to invest 100 USDC, $100, it was a gas charge of $16.74. You know, number go up, number go down on Ethereum. Here was the Ether that was required to do this transaction. Obviously, a $17 transaction cost when I was investing $100. That's not great. And that's why that created this card here. This task is to explore some other options, because really one of the goals of this investment club, the purpose of the investment club, is to help renters become owners. And of course, we want to have a solid return for other investors. The investment club isn't just for people that would like to potentially be cooperative housing housemates. It's also for investors that would like to get a solid return. We really believe that the way that we're structuring the economics of this will be very, provide solid returns for the investors. Again, we want to create win-win-win situations here. We want to tokenize and create a shared equity appreciation model. Not really sure what that's going to look like. That's still an ongoing work in progress. But where I was going with this is that here soon, and this is one of the things that we'll do in a future investment club for the Cooperative Housing Investment Club of Colorado, is that we're going to explore some of these other investment club platforms, one of which is DAO House, another one is TributeDAO. So not going to go into details about that, just planting some seeds of interest. This is, we don't personally have any experience with either of these DAO framework platforms, DAO House and TributeDAO, but again, to fulfill us and provide better solutions, because the goal would be if somebody invests $100, we would like maybe, you know, pennies of that, like on Polygon, for example. We're huge fans of building on Polygon. But again, that's just an upcoming opportunity for those that like to learn about DAO frameworks. And we are very excited about the investment club. This is really a missing component that we've been talking about for a long period of time. But we're getting close to the end of our working group here, and just wanted to pause where we're at and hear some thoughts from everybody on that and see if there was anything else that we wanted to talk about for the last few remaining minutes here today.
So one quick thing on Syndicate, they are launching a Polygon option here, should be coming out any day. So these gigantic gas costs should be much less of an issue here moving forward. But is there anything, Amy or Double D, that you would have any interest in, or is that something that is, does it make sense what we're doing, and is that something that either of you would want to participate in?
Are we talking about the investment club?
The investment club, yeah. I mean, it's not asking you to commit, but just in general, is that something that, do you like the structure of it? We're just trying to work out all the kinks with our own kind of internal team before we launch it to the world?
I think if people are given the choice of how much they can put in, either weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, whatever, it would be a good thing, because what you don't, this is the way I teach my children. What you don't see, you don't spend. So it motivates them to just put aside certain amount of money, and if they don't see it, they don't spend it. That's the main thing about everyone these days is, oh, I got $50 left, I can get me some Starbucks or something like that. But if you don't see that money and you consider it like not even there, then it grows by itself. And compound, and I don't know if we have staking by the time we get there, but compound interest is very important.
Well, the plan as far as the staking goes is we've got 5 Ethereum in TokenTown right now. Our private investor may be putting in another 9, so it'll be at 14. When we get to 32 Ethereum, we can put together a staking node. And as far as, Amy, your point of people should be able to put in what they want, I agree. The only caveat on that is going to be if somebody says, I want to put in $25 one time, then I'm done, they're taking up one of our 99 slots. So we want to make sure.
I think it should be, I'm sorry, I think it should be on a regular basis, is what I'm saying. That's why I said weekly, bi-weekly, things like that. There should not be an option of just a one-time thing, not unless they're buying the whole Ethereum.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we don't know if it will be a technical capability initially. I mean, keep in mind, like this syndicate framework, investment club framework literally just launched in beta on January 25th. And one of the things that just added to our meeting notes here is about exploring the additional DAO House and Tribute DAO frameworks for the fulfillment of the investment club. And then the opportunity, for us being able to add, because like one of the things too, like Tyler was talking about a individual investor making a large lump sum, like that type of a deal, we wouldn't necessarily need to have the commitment from a recurring investment. So that's something that we'll take a look at, and we definitely want, and that's one of the reasons that when I saw that it was $16, $17 in Gwei gas for entering here.
Hey, Jason, if you had made that transaction with $1 million instead of $100, would it have still been $17, or does the
correct?
Okay.
So Because that's just, you know, because basically what happened is on that transaction, I minted the tokens. So that's the way that the smart contract with Syndicate works, similar to like when we did our NFT with Unlocked Protocol. We created the smart contract using Unlocked Protocol, and then when somebody ever buys their ticket for like DAO Day, they minted, so there was a cost to mint the NFT. Similarly here, this is a smart contract for, you know, geared for investment clubs that whenever we entered the investment club with 100 USDC, it minted 100 investment club tokens for us to represent our position in that investment club with that purchase or that transaction.
Oh, by the way, I just emailed the host provider and told them to fix the security certificate on TokenTown, so it came up invalid for some reason. So that's fixed now. Love Roads hosting.
Yeah, well, and thank you for doing that. And since you were talking about that again here, so this is what Tyler was talking about. So we do use Rose hosting right now, and this is again one of the opportunities that we have here in 2022 is to explore a more of a Web3. Like we have a centralized hosting provider right now. But anyway, thanks for getting that fixed. Rose Hosting does have fabulous customer service, which is one of the reasons that we love using them. So thank you, Rose Hosting.
Yeah, so I know we're just right at time here, but so one of the things that we want to do is we'll probably have some minimum where if you start with $1,000 or more, you don't need to commit to recurring or some higher amount. I don't know exactly what that is. You can talk to the membership about that. If not, it'll be recurring, and we do want to make it approachable for people so people don't feel like they're getting priced out of participating. We just don't want to price it so low that we can't buy anything. So yeah, it'll be good. We will just send me a DM if you want to participate in that, or tag me in the server, and we'll get back with you on that. But yeah, that's what we want to do, is get that going. And we are going to use the investors 9 Ethereum to buy 9 founding citizenships of TokenTown. So then we'll be at 14, and we're hoping to sell that rest of the round out here soon.
So what we're actually doing with the investment club is fractionalizing the Colorado token.
Correct.
We are, well, so the two things are the only current members of the investment club right now are Jason and me and our private investor, and the private investor wanted to buy this. If the investment club says, hey, we all want to buy something totally different, I mean, we're open to that. We can buy whatever you want, but the main point of this is to get this project launched. And if I'm being totally honest, I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, I would absolutely buy in if the price were lower. And I want to say, okay, fine, we haven't given you that option now. Now that the price is there, I'm curious to see how many people will buy in with the lowered price, and so we can kind of get the show on the road. That's a personal curiosity, and I hope that people feel like there's tons of value in it and that they want to participate, especially because the Ethereum that they're contributing to this will continue to exist. It's not like it just goes away and they're buying other tokens. The organization will still hold the Ethereum. So if somebody wants to rage quit or whatever, it's not like we have to scramble and come up with the money. We just transfer it back out of the safe, burn their NFT, and they're back in business. So we want to make this flexible for people, and yeah.
So are we saying that there will be a lot of people in one Ethereum, one vote, right? This is a governance token.
So the way to look at that, Amy, is that the investment club will be making the votes for those founding citizens. And then the great thing about that is that with the investment club here being geared for cooperative housing, that will allow us to more easily fulfill, because one of the ways that we structured token, and again, this is very, very preliminary. I mean, we've had very few governance conversations, or not any governance conversations right now surrounding TokenTown. So, and these are some initial bullet points, as you know, Amy, that we created when we built some initial framework for TokenTown Colorado. And I'm really excited about this investment club, because this is really, again, a missing piece that we've wanted to put in place for quite a while, that will allow us through the investment club vehicle to, you know, and we can still do TokenTown Colorado for the people and it's again going to be a ongoing work in progress as far as building towards TokenTown Colorado, or whatever TokenTown. Like one of the things that we talked about here today was launching some additional in these 3 states that we highlighted here, and we'll take those conversations offline as far as what that looks like for getting those online. But we really think that TokenTown Colorado or TokenTown Tennessee, combined with an investment club in that same state, again, and the goal is to be legally compliant with what we're creating here, so that we're not and when we say legally compliant with like securities regulations as we understand them. And that's one of the things that have really enjoyed the conferences that I've personally attended here over the last 6 months of while we were building REtoken. And like at the end of the day, whenever you're fractionalizing something, and that's the great thing about this investment club vehicle, is that investment clubs have parameters that you can operate within, and it's functionally getting fractionalized through the token, like the one that I just showed here, because the RECO is what this token representing the investment club position is a tokenized interest in, and we haven't acquired any founding citizen NFTs, but that's basically what will happen, is that the people that are investors now will have a fractionalized interest in the founding citizen NFTs that we acquire. So, and then through the investment club would make the governance decisions for anything that it holds. And, you know, whether that's NFTs, like founding citizen NFTs, or whether, because the goal is to acquire real property to create cooperative housing solutions for really fulfilling the purpose of the investment club, is helping renters become owners. So anyway, that's we're already almost 10 minutes over here, and we'll be talking more about this, and we'll be getting more clarity and making it easier to understand from like maybe a diagram or something like that. Well, any final thoughts here before we call it a wrap on today's working group?
Thank you for that explanation, Jason. I can't wait for it to really take in shape, and then we can kind of adjust it on how it needs to be as we go along.
Yeah, and it's definitely taking shape, Amy, like this investment club. I can't tell you how excited I am, and my excitement level when I was in Miami only continued to raise, as far as this being a very fundamental piece of the strategy for us to fulfill creating affordable housing, but most importantly, like I said earlier, equitable, affordable housing for people.
Thanks, everybody. We're having a working group tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, or what time's our working group tomorrow for blockchain bootcamp?
Yeah, and whether it's blockchain bootcamp, it'll probably be blockchain bootcamp, but yeah, it'll be 7 o'clock tomorrow, and I'll do a quick POAP mashup here for this, what and I don't know what that'll look like, because again, this is the first time I have done a Triple Win Foundation. This is our very first working group. And as Tyler was alluding earlier, this is something that we're going to have reoccurring at the 3 p.m. on Sunday. Our Triple Win Foundation, 3winDAO working group. We'll just have that as a reoccurring time. This is a time that we that has worked well. And then one of the things that we're wanting to get also on the calendar, and we'll take these conversations offline, but would like to start doing a Clubhouse and a Twitter space through the week. And we'll take a look and see what makes the most sense. But the really wanting to amplify exposure for this blockchain bootcamp for real estate. Very, very excited about the affiliate program that we are creating, a very juicy affiliate program. And the goal is to educate people in a sustainable and scalable manner. We believe that we're going to be providing way more value than the cost of the ticket, but we also believe that we can operate that with how that we've done the affiliate program here as well. But anyway, thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Monday is right around the corner. We've got going to be hitting the ground running here. I am so thankful that I was able to go to Miami, make the connections that I did. Looking forward to deepening those connections that made and amplifying that here in 2022 so that we can really start bringing forward all the things that we're wanting to build here at Triple Win Foundation, REtoken, the DAO Hack, TokenSummitDAO, our home, I-100 Club, and we're just getting started here, everybody. It's going to be a fabulous year in 2022.
Hey, Jason, I just
Yes,
want to
Amy.
clarify. You're making a PNG for me to distribute a PO-up, right? Or
Yeah,
I
am. I haven't got it done yet, and this is something that
what you said.
I'll make one for today, and then I'll do a bounty to see if we can get. And this is one of the things that I'll try to figure out as far as some fun stuff here. But I love the yin yang. I'll probably throw. It'll be pretty simple, but we will get it. I'll get that over to you so that we can have a POAP for today. Thank you for all that you do, Amy, on getting the POAPs. Makes this thing much more fun.
Y'all have a good Sunday. Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Thanks.